Hi, and welcome to the third and final video in this short series on social media marketing. As I said, this is the third and final video in this short series, and this concentrates on the Media Hub and why it's so important that you do create a Media Hub and not just a website. The first video was all about the you strategy and why that's so important in getting over how human you are, how engaging, how available. The second video was all about creating a social presence, which again is a really important thing to do, and it's something that you've got to think about as you go through this. It's something that you've got to remember when speaking to people, when engaging with people online and offline. It's the same thing to me. It doesn't really make any difference. So when you create a website, and we're going to go through this on why I probably about 4 or 5 years ago started calling it a Media Hub. When we go through this, it'll become evident, it'll become self-explanatory. If you've got a question on any of these three short videos, just please put a comment in the box below and I'll get in touch and just ask me a question and I'll get back to you. That's really one of the things that I love doing. It's the conversation side of it for me that really counts. So if you've got a question on any of the 3 videos, please just put a question in the box, ask me a question and I'll answer it. So your Media Hub is obviously your website, which is basically your Media Hub. It's social channels, it's mobile, and it's email marketing. And this is something that forms the crux of everything that you do online. This is something that should flow through all of the work that you do online. But what we're going to cover today, because obviously we've only got a limited amount of time on this on these videos, we're going to cover your Media Hub and what it is, why we call it a Media Hub. We're going to do the laptop test, which is just a short series of tests just to make sure that your Media Hub is fine. What every Media Hub should contain, and that's really just a quick list of what everything that should contain. Search engines and why they're important, and search engines are massively important, so we really need to get this right. So, why a Media Hub and not a website? Well, basically for me, this came back again to my publishing days when I worked in the newspaper industry, and I think the thing that really stuck with me was that people now have the ability to create as much content as possible in lots and lots of different guises, and we've gone through that in the previous 2 videos, but it's worth just pointing out again that you have lots of media now, you have lots of ways of reaching people, video, blog sites, Twitter, Facebook. There's lots and lots of different ways now to connect and engage with people. So for me, and the reason why I decided, it wasn't really a decision. Basically what it was, it just became a Media Hub. Everything that I did, all the blog posts, all the videos, they had to reside in one place, and that was at the time that was the website. But instead of calling it a website, I really just got into the habit of calling it a Media Hub, because everything was there. Videos were there, blog posts were there, some of the Facebook comments were there, and for me that was one of the big things then. Now it seems to be just an accepted part of website building, is that you can integrate everything into your website now. And the big thing for me is that it's there all the time, it's yours. That's the main thing, that it's yours. It isn't anyone else's. As long as you pay your hosting fee and your domain name fees, it's yours. Nobody can ever close it down, unless it's obviously something that shouldn't be there, like porn or gambling or whatever. As long as you do it right, and as long as you're a legit business, your Media Hub's going to be there forever and a day. Think of it as a 2-way channel. From your Media Hub to your social channel, which could be Google+, Facebook, Twitter, Pinterest, whatever, it doesn't matter which one, and back again. Because what you want to do is you want to create a presence online where you can not only speak to people through social channels, but you can also speak to them via your Media Hub. So if you've got a blog on there, if you've got Facebook and Google+ comments on there, then that's really what this is all about. You're creating a Media Hub for people just to come back to and find out what you do, your services, your products, anything that you might sell online. And don't get into this false sense that really you're not selling anything online. I have a brick and mortar business. Even if you're not selling physical things online like eBay or Amazon or anything like that, or an ebook, a program, It doesn't matter what it is. Even if you've got a brick and mortar business, you're still selling your services online. So remember that that's key. Never ever use it as just a brochure site, as a lot of people do, just as this is what we do, this is how we do it. Give people as much information as you possibly can. That's the main thing for me. It's the information. But what we're going to do is we're just quickly going to do a series of tests. And the first one is what I term as the laptop test, or the Chromebook test, or the tablet test. Try and think of it this way. If I open up a site on my laptop, and I ask you to do this yourselves, open up your website on either a laptop or a tablet, whatever, open it up and then just walk a couple of steps away from the screen and then turn round. The test is, will I know exactly what it is you want me to do? How will I know what you want me to do? Is it to buy a product? Is it buy a service? Is it sign up to an email newsletter? I think the thing is where people get this wrong is that they have no idea what their site's set up to do. So think about it that way. This is a really good test, a laptop test, because if you look on your site and you have absolutely no idea what it is you want the people who are visiting to do, then you're losing straight away. You just aren't winning on this. So what you need to do is open it up. Just stand back a wee bit. You don't, just a couple of paces is fine. Look at the whole thing and then ask yourself, what is it that I want people to do when they get to the website? Now, mainly for me, a lot of it is signing up to the newsletter or buying the products that I sell. So for me, that's really what I focus on, especially on the Engage Your Social side website. That's the main thing. That is a true media hub, because there's lots of things on there that people can look at. There's the videos, obviously, are on there. So I know exactly what I want people to do. The question that you've got to ask yourself, do you know what it is that you want people to do? And that's the really big thing. If you don't do that, then you're never going to know. So once this video is finished, just have a quick laptop test. The second one is a very similar test, but use it on a mobile, on a smartphone. Because, like I've said in the previous two videos, mobile isn't the next big thing, it is the big thing. Mobile is something that really it doesn't take a lot of doing, but you've got to be really aware of it, of what's going on mobile and how things are evolving so quickly. So look at your website on mobile as well and make sure that your website is mobile friendly. It's one of the reasons why I continue to use and will use forever and a day, as long as I do this, is WordPress. Because WordPress is really built for mobiles. It's built for tablets and built for computers and everything else. But the templates that are coming out now are just so good. I don't think there's any need to have a website built from the ground up, unless you're willing to pay an awful lot of money. I think if you're just going to use something like WordPress, I use the Swagger theme, which is on the website, and I use OptimizePress, and I use a lot of different other templates, and it works an absolute treat. So have a look on your mobile. Just make sure that you can see everything. It isn't all scrambled up. The text isn't too small. If it is, then by all means ask a question in the boxes below. It's like I've said, if you want to ask me a question, ask me a question about anything that's on these sites. It doesn't matter what it is. I love the conversation, as I've said before. So think about that. Think about how it works on your mobile. The third thing is, and we've touched on it in the last two things, and this is absolutely critical, it's the design of your page, of your website, sorry. If the design of your website doesn't look professional, and if you're selling professional services especially, then you really need to do something about it, because that's the main thing. On a media hub, that's the main thing. If people come to your website and it looks really, really amateurish, and there isn't any need for it to look amateurish at all, no need whatsoever. I know with the Swagger theme, I think the Swagger theme that I use is something like $49, which is absolutely peanuts for what it can do and what it involves, which isn't a great deal. Anybody can set up a theme on a WordPress website, and I urge you to use that. So look at the design. Think about how the design looks to other people. Get other people to look at it and ask them for their honest opinion. Don't take it to heart. Just do something about it. If you find that you are starting to take it to heart, and if you're starting to get a bit emotional because you've designed it, you've developed it, forget it. I used to go through the same pain when I was a watercolour artist, a professional watercolour artist. I still paint, but not to the same degree because I'm involved in the web so much now. But one of the things that really used to get to me, used to rankle me an awful lot, was when people criticised or didn't like the paintings. And for a long time that used to really stick in my throat. And that's something that eventually I did get over, because everyone's got their own opinion, everybody has got their own way of saying things, and it might not be the right way to say it, but some people just do, and you've got to get over that. But the design of your website is critical. If your Media Hub isn't doing what it's supposed to do because the design's letting it down, then you've got to change it. There just isn't anything else you need to do. You definitely need to change it today. So, what should your Media Hub contain? Well, for me, it should be a very slender top navigation area that people can find. They need to find what they most often need with a very few options, and I always say probably 5, maybe 6 at the very most, definitely no more. Then start to have a subcategory, like a sub-nav. But if it's nice and slender at the top and it's got all the options that people need, then it works really well again on mobile. And again, like I've said, this is the most important thing. So it really does just need a very slender top navigation. Just crunch your logo down if you have to. Don't have too much in there. I'm sure that you've heard the term above the fold, and if you haven't, it used to be when newspapers were put into a newspaper rack outside a shop, they were always folded. So the headline was the main thing that grabbed people's attention, so it always went on headlines. And above the fold is still a term that's used in design, in website design. So have a look at what above the fold means for you. Just look at it again on a mobile or on a tablet and you'll see what I mean. If it's full of big images, then you need to move them, especially if they're above your navigation, because your navigation is the main thing on a mobile device. So keep it very slender. Keep everything above the fold nice and easy to administer, nice and easy to click on, and you won't go wrong. We've touched on it earlier in the video, a clear call to action. What do you want people to do above all else when they come to your Media Hub? Is it to sign up to your newsletter? Is it to buy your products? Is it to give them information on a new product that's coming? Is it to give them information on your business? Whatever your call to action is, and every website, every Media Hub should have one, make sure that yours is right at the very top. Make sure that people know exactly what it is that you want them to do when they get there. Contact information is another really big point. Now, I went through a period where I didn't put my mobile on the website, and you'll see even on my Keith McMahon website, on the consultancy and strategy website, it's right at the very bottom. And that's really because a lot of the stuff that I do, I don't really want people getting in touch with me by mobile. My preferred method of contact is through email, because I respond to email quicker than I do anything else. So make sure that your contact information is in more than one format, so that if you want them to email you, fine, that can be the most important or the most prominent one. If it's by phone, then it can be the most prominent one. But I think what is really important is that people feel that they can reach you on their desired method. So if their desired method is phone, then at least it might be a bit more difficult on my site, because my preferred method isn't phone. My preferred method is email. So that's what I try and do. But contact information, it's really key, because find out what your clients, just look through how your clients contact you. 90% of my clients contact me through email, so I know that works. I don't have to have the mobile number on there all the time. Most of the people who contact me by phone are new clients or prospective clients who want to speak to me personally. After that, it's generally through email or Skype or Google Hangouts or whatever. It's generally not by phone or face-to-face meetings. I love face-to-face meetings. So for contact, get your preferred method and then stick to it. Don't veer, because your clients won't know what it is that you want them to do, and that's the main thing. They have to feel comfortable that they can contact you in their preferred method. But if it's different from your preferred method, then talk to them and just say, look, I very rarely answer the phone. My phone's always off. You'll always get me on voicemail. The quickest way is to email me, because I generally pick up my emails, fairly constantly. And people will do it. People will get used to it. Search engines and why they're important. Well, we all know why search engines are important, and if you look at Google, we'll use Google as the example because that's the biggest one. There isn't a bigger search engine than Google. YouTube is number 2. So Google pretty much have cornered the market. But where I see people getting this really wrong, massively wrong if you like, is that they don't create content that is search engine friendly, and sometimes it's stuffed with keywords. So really what you've got to do, you've got to create content that is search engine friendly but not stuffed with keywords. That used to be an old trick a long time ago, probably in the late 90s, early 2000s, when at the bottom of a web page you would see a big long blank piece of white, what we would term as real estate, and it looked as though there was nothing on it. But if you actually selected it, but if you held the left button down on your mouse, you could select all the words, and that was normally keywords, and that's what's called keyword stuffing. So what you've got to do is, like I've said in the previous videos, is create content that really does resonate with your tribe, your audience, because if you don't, then what's going to happen is you'll not get found in the search engines, and then what happens again, and it compounds it, is that you start to stuff it with keywords and phrases that you think are going to attract people, and it doesn't. Because the one thing that you've got to do, you've got to create content that resonates, but the content has got to make sense. And that's one of the things that people miss really quickly with this, and you'll see lots of people on the web that will say, I can show you how to blog properly, I can teach you how to blog properly, and I can teach you so that when you write a blog post, lots of people comment on it. And I'm not saying that doesn't happen, because I do that anyway through the course, through the main social marketing blueprint course, teach you how to blog properly. But really what you've got to do, the first thing that you've got to do, which is the most vitally important thing, is the content's got to resonate, because if it doesn't, it's never going to work whether you stuff it with keywords or not. I think it's a self-fulfilling sort of prophecy, if you like, because if you're creating content that resonates, then you're going to create content that works on search engines. Because if I write about social marketing and social media marketing and Facebook and blog and everything else that I write about, especially if I'm doing it through a blog, that's going to be picked up by search engines anyway, because I don't even think about stuffing it with keywords. I have to say, I don't really give keywords now a second thought, because I just got into the habit of writing content that resonates with the people who follow me, with my tribe, my audience. So set off from the position of, it's got to help, it's got to give lots and lots of value to your audience or your tribe. And then what you'll find is that the keywords will start to work. The keywords will just flow through everything that you do anyway. And it's the same if you're doing a video like I do these videos. Generally, the only time that I look for keywords and search engines and how they'll pick them up is in the descriptions underneath. That's usually the thing that I do, probably where I really do give it a lot of thought to it. And that's something that you've got to do. You have got to give a lot of thought to that. So using keywords and search terms in the body of your content, again, it is really important, but like I've said, what you will find is that this will start to flow anyway. Let me give you an example. If I was building a website that catered to men's fitness, and that was the niche that I was writing it on, then the keywords that I would use, especially for post titles, would be like travel workout, upper body workout, strength training for runners, and stuff that was similar to this. That's when you start to think about really good keywords and search terms. But the key thing for me is, after those titles, somewhere in the content, somewhere in the body of your blog, you might even try and get a wee bit cleverer than that. So for instance, if you're trying to get people to find you, say your gym's in Manchester for argument's sake, you might write in the body of the content, of all the Manchester gyms what we propose, this is the one that we would recommend that you go to. So you are actually mentioning gyms, you're mentioning Manchester, so you would think up similar search terms to that. But what I would do, and like I said before, if I was writing about men's fitness, then what I would do is I would write the blog post first and then look for the keywords. Just underline or highlight the keywords if you're writing it in a Word document or something like that. Because the one goal of all of this, especially for keyword searching, is that, and there's only one goal, and that's to help people who don't know you or have only seen you every now and again or don't know you that well to find your content. So don't stuff it with keywords. Just let keywords flow through it, but keep them in the back of your mind. Write your content first, highlight the keywords, and see if there's any way that you can get a few more in. It's like I've said, I've been doing this for a long time, so for me, I don't even give this a second thought anymore. I just tend to do it as a normal sort of thing. It's just a habit for me now. You've got to think about how people search for stuff and how you can use your keywords and search terms to help them find it. Like I said before, that's the main goal, is helping people find your stuff. So if you're into wellness, if you're into fitness and men's fitness and the example that we've give, then that's what you would come through. Remember, it would be like travel workout, upper body workout, strength training for weightlifters or runners or whatever. They're the keywords that you would use, because that's the keywords that people would be using. But as long as it resonates with your audience and with your tribe, and I know I keep saying this, but as long as it resonates, then it will work. Just to get you into the habit of it, write your blog post, like I've said, and I know I keep saying it and I keep repeating myself, but it's worth repeating, is write your blog post and then look for the keywords and the search terms. And if you've got to just work a few more in by just changing something, then do it, because it's worth it. Google will find it. Email marketing we touched on in the last video, but to me it's still a major part of any social platform, of any media hub, of any website. It doesn't matter what you call it. I call it Media Hub. I sincerely hope that you get into the habit of calling it Media Hub, and then you'll think of it in a totally different way. Do it for at least 10 days to 2 weeks, and I can guarantee you'll be calling it a Media Hub and not a website. Email marketing is one of the fastest ways to get people to your hub. There isn't, if you put an email sign-up box on there, like I've got on mine, that's the quickest way that people will get to know what you do. I am a massive advocate of giving away the best stuff free, and that's why I do these videos, and that's why I have comments at the bottom, because not only do I want to spark your interest, not only do I want to get you thinking about all of this, but I want you to ask me questions, and I want to ask you questions too. Email marketing is one of the best ways of doing this, because you can speak directly to your tribe at any time. So think about email marketing. We do touch on it in the Social Marketing Blueprint in a far greater depth, as we do all the sort of elements that have gone throughout these 3 videos. And these 3 videos really are just a flavour of what you can do, what the potential is, what your potential is, and your business's potential. Because one of the things about social marketing that I found was how quickly you can implement it. Once you're doing it right, that's the main thing. Once you're starting to get it right, once you're feeling comfortable, then the sky really is the limit. I really hope that you've enjoyed this series of videos, and that it helps you get started in, or at least using social media and social media marketing. And that's really the aim of these 3 videos, was really to give you a flavour of it, get you started on it, get everything up and running, and then start to work through it so that it's really working and it's fine-tuned and just humming along like a really nice car. That's the way that I want my social marketing to work. So if it's something that you are interested in and you want to take it to the next level, you really want to find out a whole lot more about it and in a lot more depth so that it can really help your business, well, consider signing up for the Social Marketing Blueprint, because like I've said, these 3 videos have really just touched on a few modules that we have in there. The content that we do cover in there, and in module 1 it's all about strategy and how we create a strategy, how we put it into place, what it consists of. Module 2 is putting that strategy into action, how we actually implement the strategy, because that's where a lot of people just really get this wrong. It's implementing the strategy. Module 3 is all about building a magazine style business, and again in these 3 videos we have just touched on it in a little way. We haven't really gone into it in any depth, but that's what this module does. Module 4 goes through the Media Hub, which is this module, and it goes through it in far greater depth than I've been able to go through here, because obviously we've got time constraints, so there's a lot more about creating a Media Hub. Module 5 is all about social channels and the social channels that you should use, and that's one of the big things where people just get this really wrong. They tend to sign up for every new shiny channel that's out there, and what Module 5 does is takes you through which ones and why are key for your business. Module 6 is all about my favourite, email marketing, how to set it up, how to keep it going, templates for sending out really good sales letters, how you can create a seed launch if you've got a product that you're going to be selling, all sorts of really fantastic stuff about email marketing in Module 6. Module 7 again is, I think it's probably one of the most important modules, and that's why it's near the end, which is content marketing and what I've termed as other stuff. And content marketing is really just how you resonate with your tribe or your audience, and that's what we go through in Module 7. Module 8 is all about metrics, and that's closely linked with Module 9, which is crisis management. Metrics, how to set everything up, how to keep it really, really simple, how not to get too complicated with it, because that's the last thing you want. And crisis management really is that, what happens if things go wrong. And that's really important, because I see it going wrong every day on social marketing and social media, and people have no idea what to do with it. So like I've said, if this is something that you want to do, they're the 9 modules, and like I've said, if it's something that you're really interested, then you can just click the button below. It'll take you through to a page. It'll give you a lot more information. It'll give you information on what's in there again. It'll just go through it in more detail, and it'll give you the price. I hope you've enjoyed these videos. Like I've said, go back, look at them again, make your mind up what it is that you want to do. There'll be lots more content coming in the near future, so look out for that. If you haven't signed up for the email, I always send it out in emails. I always send out to my tribe first, and they always get it through email. So if you found this just through the web or search engines, fantastic, great to see you, wonderful that you're here. But if you want to know more about what I do, then sign up for the newsletter, because that's where all the gold is for this. I'm really pleased that you've been with me on these 3 videos, and I hope you've got a massive amount of value, a massive amount of push, if you like. I always tend to call it push, because if you're pushing towards the goal that you want, then you are going to succeed, and that's what I wanted to do with these 3 videos. Just give you a flavour, give you a wee bit of a kickstart, and just bump it out there so that you can really take advantage of it. Leave me a comment below. Tell me if you've liked the videos. Also, tell me what you would like to see come up in the future. If there's something that I haven't touched on, then by all means leave me a comment. That's one of the things that I really enjoy, is not just the conversation, but people telling me what they would like to see in the future, what they would like me to deliver in the future. It's more about email marketing. If it's more about social channels, put it in the comment boxes and I'll answer you, and we'll take it from there. So have a great day, and remember that social marketing is so much easier than you ever imagined, and I hope these 3 videos have showed you that. So take care, and I'll speak to you soon.